So, Joker is the latest DC film released by Warner Brothers, and it's notable for a few reasons. First of all, it's obviously it's been very controversial, and I guess I'll address the whole controversy around it. I've already made like two videos on this, but now that I've actually seen it, I feel like I should give a bit more of an informed perspective on it, and yeah. So, I mean, look. Does the movie do I think the movie glorifies violence, or do I think it like justifies the things that the Joker does? I personally don't think it does that. After watching it, I can see why somebody would think that, but I personally don't think it does. But I don't want to get into spoilers or anything, but I don't personally think it does. I mean, and yeah, like look, and yeah, the movie is very disturbing and it's unsettling. Like, this isn't a feel good movie, so like if that's not really something you're into, then yeah, like I don't, then you probably shouldn't see it, and I don't necessarily think somebody's wrong for not liking the movie for those reasons. Um, so yeah, I mean, look, it is violent, it is disturbing, but I don't think it glorifies any of it. Like, at no point was I like cheering him on to do these things. Joker. If anything, like the movie does make you sympathize with him, but you're more rooting for him not to go down the road that he goes down, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I guess I disagree with the people who I guess are outraged by it, but at the same time, like, I don't necessarily think they're wrong for having that opinion. I don't know, whatever, who cares? Okay, whatever, that's the one thing. But that's all, this is the last I want to talk about this Joker controversy. But, yeah, the other reasons why this movie is notable is because, this is, or I guess another reason is because this is a standalone comic book movie, and I am just so grateful and happy that DC decided to greenlight this movie, because this is a standalone. It's not a part of any extended universe or whatever, and I want more of these movies, because don't get me wrong, I love the MCU, love it. However, I don't need everything to be the MCU, and like, I feel like DC was trying so hard to be the MCU, or they were just trying so hard to create the cinematic universe, but A, they just weren't doing it properly, and B, the movies were just bad, right? Yeah, and that's really the the thing that made the DCEU just fall flat on its face, which is the biggest thing, was that the movies just weren't very good. And I guess from that failure, they just decided, you know what, Todd Phillips, go ahead, make your dumb Joker movie, whatever. And yeah, he was able to make this, and I just love the fact that it is a standalone story. It's an R-rated, mature, grounded, standalone story. And I definitely love it for that. And yeah, I guess another reason why it's notable is because, you know, like all these superhero movies, they're not necessarily, I guess, respected amongst, authors. But, I mean, I am seeing, like, a lot of these people that are like, I don't really watch comic book movies, I don't watch those popcorn, blockbuster action movies. But Joker? Yes, Joker, this is a film! Joker's a film! Yes! I think it's cool that now there's like there's this comic book movie that kind of speaks to those people, I guess. And like, I think it's also, this movie's also gonna get I mean, the movies, I think it's expected to make like it's expected to have like a 95 million dollar opening weekend. So like, we're gonna like, it's cool that this movie is gonna get a bunch of people that generally wouldn't watch a movie like this. Like, it's gonna get them out to the theater to see this, and I think that's cool. Although, to be honest, I think there are also gonna be a lot of people that aren't necessarily expecting this movie to be as like disturbing, um, and yeah, just as disturbing as it is. So I kind of feel bad for those people, but at the same time, I think it's kind of cool that that people are going to be giving this movie a chance, and maybe it'll get them to watch some other movies that aren't about people with capes and costumes, and you know what I'm saying. But yeah, either way, that's all the the setup. What do I actually think of this movie? I really liked it. It is very much in the vein of like Taxi Driver. I know people also say it's like the king of comedy. I personally haven't seen it, but it very much is in the vein of a Taxi Driver. Almost, I mean, I don't want to say it's a ripoff because it still is its own thing, but yeah, it definitely is very much like Taxi Driver. But at the end of the day, I think it's really solid. I think it's well directed. I think it's well paced. I mean, and like I know like there's some things, and I will get into spoilers later in this video, but there are like some things that I've seen people that have their problems with the movie, but I guess I like interpreted things different. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? I do think it's well paced. I'll get to it later. But yeah, I think it's like really well shot. I think the score is really great. I just think it's a really solid movie all around. And I mean Joaquin Phoenix, he is incredible in this movie. I mean, he just like embodies this character, Arthur Fleck, and he just absolutely kills it. He is the lead, and he carries this movie throughout. Like I think he's literally in like every scene, and he is the lead, and he is carrying this movie on his back, and he does it brilliantly. And I mean, like that's the thing with this movie, is that you kind of see the evolution of this character, and you see him growing into what the Joker is. Like, you see him turn into the Joker, because initially he's not like he isn't the Joker. And this movie, you see the evolution of his turn, and Joaquin Phoenix just plays it so brilliantly that it's believable. Like, when he does certain things, I was like, at least I was never like oh, that was a sudden change. I was like I believed it, and it's just like the way he plays it is just brilliantly that you believe it every step of the way. He's obviously the standout performance, but I think like pretty much everybody else does a great job as well, like all the other side characters. And I mean, it's just really solid, and the movie deals with mental illness, it deals with wealth disparity, it deals with just society. And yeah, I think it does it really well. Like, I'm not entirely clear I'm not sure if like the movie really has like a central message that it's trying to tell, more so than I just think the movie just wants you to think about these things that you might not necessarily always think about. I think it's good. I think it's a movie that I think a lot of people are coming out are going to be talking about it. I think a lot of people are going to take different things out of it, and I think that's cool. I think it's awesome that we have a comic book movie that is like this. And I give it a thumbs up. I enjoyed it. So I think that's all I'm going to talk about, non-spoilers, and I think now I want to get into some spoilery things. So if you haven't seen it yet, go out and watch it. But yeah, like I said before, if you're someone who really just wants to watch like an uplifting movie, or like a fun like popcorn Marvel movie, like an Avengers or like a Thor Ragnarok, this movie's probably not for you. This movie, it is disturbing. Although I will say, like, when it comes to the violence and like the graphic violence, I don't really think it's that bad. Like, I was expecting way more. I would say that the really disturbing stuff that comes from this is the psychological trauma that that Arthur is going through. Like, I would say that that's really where the disturbing stuff comes from. I mean, there is like one like really graphic scene, I would say. Um or I would say there's maybe like two like really graphic scenes. One is like really really graphic, and then one is like pretty graphic. But like I don't know. I would just like, if it's necessary, if you're like don't want to watch this because you don't want to see a ton of graphic violence, I would say like there isn't really that much of it in here. But I would say like it's more the psychological trauma that's gonna disturb you. Yeah, honestly, look. Either way, I feel like from what I've described, you kind of know if it's something for you or if it's not for you. And yeah, so I would recommend it, but I think you should make your own decisions to see if it's something that you personally want to see. Definitely wouldn't take your kids to it. So yeah, I think for the whole spoilery section, I want to focus a lot on what, first of all, like what I think is real in this movie and what I think is most likely like him imagining something, because you know I think it was made it was made really clear that it was when Arthur was watching the Murray whatever show, and like he like imagined himself in the audience. That's kind of when in my mind I'm like, okay, that this is definitely going to be an element in this movie of what is real and what is not real, right? And we got further confirmation of that when he was when he like snuck into his neighbor's apartment, and you find out that he was just imagining all of their stuff together. Because I remember like when I was like watching him and their relationship, and I was just like, this is not I don't buy this. I don't buy their relationship. I don't really buy that she would get together with him, you know, after he followed her. And like it's one of those things where it's just like, this is weird. But then they reveal that it's like, oh no, he was just imagining the entire thing. And I was like, okay, movie, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. I forgive you. Yeah, so because it's kind of interesting, because I feel like whenever he's like really confident, I feel like that you can kind of tell that that's when he's imagining things, right? And then when like when he's really like shy and nervous, and like I feel like that's probably when it's real. I don't know that. That's just kind of my interpretation. So then that kind of leads to like that the end when he goes on the talk show. Because the thing is that when he comes out, he's like really confident and he's dancing, and he's kind of like he's killing the interview. He's totally confident and sure of himself. And that's what I'm still like struggling, because I'm not sure if I think that's real or not, because that could be a hint towards this just being in his imagination. And and like maybe he never even went on the talk show, or I don't know. Because okay, so here's where my mind goes, right? Like part of me kind of wonders if maybe he never went on the talk show, right? But maybe he was just arrested for, because that's the thing, like he ends up at Arkham Asylum, but that could be for any number of things. Like maybe he never even kills his mom. Maybe he never even kills his clown friend. Like maybe he was just arrested for the 3 murders. Maybe he did kill his mom. Maybe he was just arrested for that. Or maybe he did kill his clown friends, and maybe he was just arrested for that. And I don't know. I'm not really sure. And also what I think might be his imagination is the scene where he does end up being arrested, and the the ambulance crashes into the cop car, and they take him out of the car, and they start, and and then they put him on the top of a hood, and he gets up and he starts dancing or whatever. I'm like, I think that I get the feeling that that's also fake, right? Because first of all, like, how would he survive that? How is he the only one that survives that? And that's why I'm just like, I'm not sure. It's but that's what I love about this movie, right? That I'm actually like trying to think about these things, and this could be interpreted in many different ways, and that's what I really love about this movie, that it really does inspire these types of conversations. But yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I'm not sure. I think, because that's the thing. Because like part of me also does think that maybe he did go on the show, because there is like a scene before he goes on where Murray comes into his dressing room, and they are, because that's also the thing, right? You also have to look at how the people are reacting to the things that he's saying, right? Because like all the scenes that he imagines with Zazie Beetz, I think her name is like Sophie Diamond or something in the movie. Like all the scenes that he's imagining with her, he's like really confident, and she's also like buying what he says. And the scene where he does stand up, like he imagines like people laughing at his jokes, and like I guess like I get the feeling that a lot of the scenes where that are fake are also, you can also look at how people are reacting to him. So yeah, so then that also, when that leads to the interview, the talk show interview, where like he is very confident, but like they're not just buying what he's saying, right? But at the same time, maybe like in his mind, he's imagining them calling him crazy, and then he imagines him getting his comeuppance, right, by shooting him. Like that's the thing that I'm not sure about, because it also, like I said before, like when he goes into his dressing room, when Murray comes into his dressing room, they are like, this guy is fucking weird, out of his mind, right? Like they have that very real reaction. So it's confusing. It's very confusing. I'm still trying to like dissect what's real and what's not. And by the way, I've only seen the movie once, so maybe if I see it again, I can come to some more definitive conclusions. But I'm still not really sure. And yeah, but yeah, so that was like the first thing. That was like the main thing I wanted to talk about with spoilers. I just wanted to talk about like what I think was real and what I think was his imagination. Because like even like the final scene of the movie, right, when he, I guess like they suggest that he kills his therapist, and he's just like running down the hallways. Like, is that real? I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of something that I'm still thinking about. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this, like what you think is real and what you think isn't real. But yeah, so there's that aspect. But I guess to talk about more of like more of the other aspects of the movie. I also, like, I have to say, when they started talking about a Joker movie, like my main concern was that I don't want the Joker to have a definitive origin. Like that was like my main concern when they first announced this movie, and I have to say I actually really liked the way that they handled it. The way that they handled it, right? Like him like realizing that he is adopted. I actually think that's a really smart way of handling it, right? Because he has his mom. He has his mom. He doesn't know who his dad is. I don't know if he's ever met his supposed grandparents or whatever, but it's kind of it's pretty much implied that his mom is really the only person that he has in his life. And when he learns that he isn't his mom, that she isn't his mom, and when he learns that she abused him, and she kind of is responsible for the way that he turned out, like I feel like that was like the final, like the last straw, right? That kind of makes him go crazy, right? Like I feel like that is the thing that pushes him over the edge, because now he's like much like the Joker in many iterations, right? Where like it's like, wow, like he doesn't know who he is, and like he doesn't know who he is, and he kind of just like that actually does embody the Joker pretty well, right? Where from a technical perspective, it's like, yeah, like he doesn't know where he comes from, and nobody else really knows where he comes from. They just know that he's adopted. Like that is such a smart way of giving the Joker an origin story of sorts, and yeah, and then from an emotional perspective, like I said before, like his mom was really the only thing he had, and now he doesn't even have that, and yeah, like him learning that she lied to him just kind of broke him and pushed him over the edge. And although, like I said before, I'm not entirely certain if he ended up killing her. I don't. I'm gonna say I think he probably did end up doing that, right? I mean, because that is kind of like that is like the last thing you would need to do to establish the Joker character. But at the same time, this is a standalone movie, so they don't like have to do. They don't have to like, you know, at the end they really don't have to have this character necessarily be the Joker at the end of the movie, because we're most likely never gonna see this character again. And actually on that, like I will say, and I don't think I'm not. This isn't a criticism. This is just something that I noticed, but this Joker, he really isn't the Joker, because like this guy, he kind of, you see him even when he goes crazy, he kind of does have a code in a sense, which the Joker wouldn't, right? Because you notice very clearly that when he kills people, it really is just people that he feels have wronged him, right? Because he only kills the three guys, which, by the way, if he'd have killed when he killed those three guys, it was in self-defense. I mean, did he enjoy it a bit too much? Did he necessarily need to go after that last guy? Maybe not. But those three guys were kind of kicking his ass, so I'll give him a pass on those. um, but yeah, and either way, like he killed those three guys, which were kicking his ass, and they were potentially gonna sexually assault that girl, and then he kills his clown friend, which he's his friend, and you say, well, he killed him, but he is the one that, like, I think he's the one who told his boss that Arthur was like asking him for rounds, right? And like when they come to his apartment, I don't know about the midget character. He might have had more pure intentions, but it's pretty obvious that he really only came around to see Arthur so that he could make sure that Arthur tells the police, so that he can make sure that they're consistent, their story is consistent. So, like, even that guy, he isn't really Arthur's friend. Like, he might have, like, sure, he might have given him his gun because he kind of felt sorry for him, but at the same time, he really isn't Arthur's friend, and he did do some shitty things to him, right? So, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying it justifies what Arthur did to him, but I'm just saying, like he does have a code, because he did wrong Arthur, and then Arthur killed him, but he let the midget go. And by the way, oh my gosh, the bit where the midget character reaches for the lock and he can't reach it. I mean, like my heart stopped. I was like, oh my, no. Because that's the thing, right? Like this, I wouldn't say that this movie is like a horror movie, or that it is a thriller. But that one scene, I was like my heart stopped. I was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna kill him or is he not gonna kill him? I was like my mind went to, oh my gosh, did he do that on purpose? Like, did he know that he was gonna let the other guy go, or pretend to let him go? I was like, oh my gosh, that scene, that was an incredible scene. But then he also kills Murray, right? And he kills Murray because Murray, he made fun of him, and he only brought him on the show to make fun of him, right? So he does have a code, and he doesn't kill anybody. Like he chooses not to kill the midget friend, right? And he tells him, "You were the only person that was ever nice to me." And he doesn't kill anybody else in the studio. I don't think. So I don't think he doesn't kill anybody else in the studio. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. I could be misremembering, but I don't think he did. So it's like by the end of this, he's not really the Joker as the Joker is usually portrayed, but that's not a negative. I think this being its own standalone movie doesn't necessarily have to abide by what the Joker would usually be. And I thought the bit that was a little bit on the nose was like by the end when they show like Bruce Wayne getting or they show his parents dying, and I was like, okay, I get it. Like he's gonna be Batman. I get it, movie. I thought that was a bit on the nose. Also, like when his parents got killed, like the little kid actor, he like didn't emote at all. He was just like standing there, like bro, your parents are dying. Act a little bit, but it's fine. He's a kid actor. It's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I guess other spoilery things that I can talk about. I mean, yeah, like I said before, every time Arthur every time he was pushed a little bit closer to the edge, every time it happened, I was Joaquin Phoenix's performance is just so incredible that it is believable. I never felt like any point of his evolution was unrealistic in any way or unbelievable. I was just I bought into this character the entire way through. I don't know. I'm just trying to think real quick any other spoilery things that I might want to talk about. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'll just leave it there. I don't want to draw this video along too much, but yeah, I thought this movie was really good. I'm glad that an R-rated, realistic, just like a movie like this. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad DC decided to make it, and I just. I'm glad it's a standalone movie that's not gonna tie into anything. I think they've confirmed that this isn't going to be the Robert Pattinson's Batman. It's not going to be his Joker. This is a standalone movie, and I think that's cool. I want to see more of them. And bye.